What's going on, Players Guild? How is everyone doing? Hope you're all well. And Scott, what the heck is Grand Archive? Oh yeah, I'm Scott Sermon, your guildmaster. Should have mentioned that. Hi, new people or returning people. Yes, a Grand Archive, another new TCG we're going to take a first look at. This one is super early, just like NOSTALGIX. It hasn't launched on Kickstarter just yet, but it does have a Discord server which you can join. Of course, the link for the website will be in the description. Send them your support, send them your love. But this one really drew my eye. Again, shout out to Reverse Eden for being my hookup upon all of these new card games. This is super cool, super interesting, very anime focused, with kind of a flesh and blood style from what I can tell based on the cards. It feels very flesh and bloody. Will that be the case? We'll find out when they reveal the gameplay, but I wanted to get this to you guys ASAP. It looks super cool. Artwork wise is fantastic, and I'm very much an artwork person. If we see pretty cards, we're going to cover the card game. So the overview: Grand Archive is an anime TCG with Western game design. It's the first anime card game that embraces card interface clarity, low stat numbers, easy to understand rules, developed by a team of designers laser focused on game balance and longevity, which is what you want to hear. Especially with card games, right? You want to hear that they've got plans. You want to hear that they're about balance. And especially with Kickstarter TCGs, you want to know that they're there for the game itself, right? Rather than making money. I won't name names, but there are certain Kickstarter TCGs that seem to just be about the money. And there's a reason they're not on Card Game Club. But yeah, so let's talk about the cards that you're seeing here. What we can tell right now is we have Champion Spirits, we have a Champion Warrior, so not sure if they interact or if they are your champions. Well, I guess we'll find out. We have allies, and we can see weapons as well. So there's a range of different card types to get from there. There's champions, there's these spirits, there's fighters, which I guess will act as monsters, and weapons, which is like equipment. So that's really cool, and we're already getting a good idea of what those can be and look like. And the artwork is stellar here. Look at it, it's so beautiful. Very impassioned, very stylish, and again, for all of you anime fans, it's very much there. It's very up your alley. It's very sword art, which we'll talk about sword art because you can see here the Grand Archive. I feel like this is the Grand Archive here, and it looks very much like Ironclad. From Sword Art Online, mixed with the Tower of Babel, mixed with the light creature design from Duel Masters. So I think it's a really cool design. Don't get me wrong, that's not a criticism. But it wears its influences on its wrist, and that's really cool. So the the Grand Archive monitors the health of the lesser worlds. Located in a heavenly realm called Homeworld, the gods monitor the lesser worlds via the Grand Archive. When a catastrophe is imminent in one of these worlds, champions are sent in to repel it. So really opening a multiverse type thing, so we can see very different designs. And I really like this because that does help for the future, because say we've got a very human looking realm, we're seeing very human champions here, then maybe we can go into space, we can go into times, into the future, lots of cool potential for it, and opening that up to not just a specific type and theme, which is cool. The classes of the Homeworld. Champions come in many flavors, each having their own unique playstyle. Class cards can be played regardless of your champion's class, but they are more powerful if the class matches with your champion. So you get bonuses for building on theme, which is something I love. I'm very much an archetypal player. If you've seen our out-of-the-box videos on Dragon Ball, if you've seen Untapped Potential series, if you've seen what I've been doing with AKORA behind the scenes, very much making thematic decks, because I love it. Absolutely love it. NOSTALGIX is another one. I just made a Gamatron deck, which may or may not be good. We don't know just yet. Zaba hit me up for a game. But yeah, and we have a breakdown of all these classes, so we'll go through them because I actually find some of them quite interesting. Warriors, well-rounded fighters, known for their ability to adapt and overcome adverse conditions. Yeah, that's fine. Also, the spinny thing is super cool. I just love it. Then we have mages, specializes in offensive mana manipulation. The elements have access to depends on which ley lines exist in world. Now, they actually touch upon ley lines here, and I think that's such a cool, unique concept. Ley lines are like essentially lines of energy that are around our world. You can often see people using dowsing rods and stuff, and that touches on something I'm a massive fan of as a kid. Is like all of these like weird things about our world, and so like that interests me that they're touching upon real world things, but adopting them into their reality, which is cool. I like that. I like that. It's part of the reason why MetaZoo appealed to me is because it's cryptids, and I grew up on cryptids, ghosts, and stuff like Leyland. So when I see things like this come over into a TCG, it helps me feel seen. So that's really cool. Hopefully they expand more upon the leyline thing, because that'd be super cool. Was it Full Metal that used leylines to make the alchemy circle around the world? I could be wrong on that. I also think maybe Leylands was doing Supernatural where they made the pentagram. I think, I don't know. Either way, it's cool. Leylands are cool. Accurate with any weapon. Oh, sorry, this is Rangers, sorry. Accurate with any weapon from crossbows to laser rifles. And that's where I say we're going to see sci-fi stuff. I love this. The tease is perfect for this. I kind of understand why they're going for these Ranger icons. My only criticism here on the Ranger icons is, like, if it is going to be, like, with futuristic tech, these feel very medieval. Like, obviously, it's an arrow, bow and arrow. That's fine for Ranger. But then you've got a crosshairs, but you've got arrows in the crosshairs, which is a nice touch. But nothing like that screams laser rifle to me, if it makes sense. Whereas mages, you get it, right? Mages are very much a medieval trope. The warrior logo works as well, I think. Because swords are just generically swords, right? Like, you look at a sword, you understand, and then even if you have future versions of swords, you kind of can tell the swords, right? And with the axes, that's kind of cool as well. Like, I like crossed imagery is very nice. But yeah, the Ranger one I would probably try and update to make a bit more emblematic of what Rangers are as a whole, rather than just like the bow and arrow aspect. But again, not a huge criticism. It's just an aesthetic thing for me personally. We have Clerics, which specializes in defense, mana manipulation, known for healing in the worlds they travel to. So that could be potentially healing, very much a tank deck. If you're thinking the archetypes of like World of Warcraft and stuff, and that, you can kind of get an idea, or RPGs really in general, like of what these roles are, and then you apply them to card games. It's really cool. Let's move on from Clerics. Again, this is really good. This one feels like an actual, like, you would see in a military, on a military patch, right? Like some of the medical corps, like you would see that, and I think that's amazing. We have an assassin or a rogue type, swift and without sound, extremely mobile, and alacrity. I've never heard of that word, so let me know in the comments below if you know what that word means. Assassin, very cool, very reminiscent of the Assassin's Creed logo, but that's not a bad thing because that Assassin's logo is absolutely fantastic. It's one of the best things about the Assassin's Creed series and how iconic it is. We don't get much here, so I don't we don't have enough to really base on what they were doing. I'm guessing maybe either low damage but lots of like attacks, or high damage in a single strike. Potential. That's what I get when I see assassins in types of games. The fact that they mention mobility makes me feel like there's speed in the game, so could potentially see speed effects, which interesting. I like it. It's cool to have this wide range of things. Now here's the one I'm most excited about, because you guys know me. Extremely knowledgeable on otherworldly creatures, known for solving the world's problems with the force of savagery. Tamer class. This again feels like a coat of arms. Very beautiful. I guess it's meant to be a whips either side of them. I don't like the idea of whipping animals. I would rather they be companions. But I would love it if we get like a dire wolf pet alongside our champion, something like that. If we go into the future, have a robot bird or something. Like, so much potential with tamer classes. Always one of my favourite classes to play in any game. If I can have a companion alongside me, there's a chance I'm going to be doing it no matter what. Even if it's the worst class in the game, I'll be running a companion. I just love the idea of having something there. And of course, guys, if you watched the stream the other day, you know I'm in the process of trying to adopt a dog. So that's something that really tamers is a personal class for me. Guardians, our last class at the moment. Pure vitality, capable of defeating mythical creatures through infinite endurance. Anytime you see infinite in a card game, you kind of get worried. I think this is more of a lore word than it is a mechanical word. But it seems like these guys can take a beating and also dish one out. And again, a really cool coat of arms looking thing there. The crossed emblems of the hammers there. Nice wings on the side. Feels very Mercy-like from Overwatch, and then a nice little shield in the middle. And of course, we even use the coat of arms for Players Guild, so it feels very thematic. So that's a range of classes, so a lot of classes to start out with. And that can only just increase in future, right? Like, that's so cool. And now here's my main thing that worries me. We'll get into it in a second. They say up top, we're about being gameplay focus, right? That's fine. Have no issues with that. That's cool. That's what I want to hear. Gameplay first. But then we have straight into $signs. Rejoice for extremely collectible cards. First edition exclusivity. First edition packs of standard sets contain alternate art cards and extremely rare collector's rares. Population report. On the population launch of a first edition product, a population report will be publicised showing the total amount of each premium card printed. Foil scarcity. Each card has a foil version, but a lot more rarer compared to other TCGs. Uniquely signed collector's rares are that cards that are signed uniquely by its artist. No two signatures are the same. They are all serialised with a collector's number. So as you can see here, 13 out of 100. So this signature will be different on all 100 of these cards, if I'm being right. Now, my main concern isn't that they've got all of these alt arts, which that's fine, right? Collector's rares will be an alt art of Lorraine here. Like, you can see Lorraine here. That's a collector's version of her. You go up to the top, the version at the top isn't a collector's rare. When we go up to the top, see? No collector's rare there. But from what I can tell, it's just a signature on the card. I mean, hopefully there's more to it than that. We'll find out. Again, this guy, like, we still don't know too much on the game. But as someone who, I know they're going to Kickstarter, and we've seen what happens with Kickstarter TCGs, this has me worried. Not so much about the collectibility of it, like, that's fine. But the fact that they're emphasising so much on this money and extremely rare cards. My thing is, collectibility is fine, but you have to have accessibility first. It's something I brought up in our NOSTALGIX video. Again, I'll keep going back to that because that was our most recent one. Zaba and me had an in-depth conversation regarding allocations, print runs, how are you going to combat scalpers, because you don't want to see a MetaZoo situation where people who want to play the game can't, but then even worse than people scalping on Kickstarter is the people, like the company moving on to new sets without letting it be available for unlimited. So we see first edition here, which means I'm thinking we're going to see unlimited. So hopefully they do it right. I'm just letting my concerns be aired that this is so, like, this being a prominent thing concerns me. That's all I'm saying. The $signs don't help. They're like, apologies. Having a $sign there doesn't help. So about 1 in 400. Like, is the Kickstarter going to be first edition? Is the Kickstarter going to be different? Like, this is the kind of thing that I wish was on here to help differentiate that. Because if Kickstarter's separate, then that's fine. And then you do first edition, cool. As long as you're making printing to demand on first edition, that's also fine. I don't want to see just like, oh, we have 500,000 boxes of first edition, and then we're going to put them up on the site, and then boom, they're just gone because people botted it. I hope it's print to demand, you have pre-orders open for a certain amount, so you can get an idea of how many people who are here and want to be invested can get their products that they want and for the amount they want, and you know that you can print to that and make it have enough. And then obviously you have a little buffer there for what you want at launch and then be able to sell. And then you go on to unlimited, which should always be unlimited, unlike Flesh and Blood, which has decided to stop unlimited prints of their cards, which kind of defeats the purpose of unlimited. So about 1 in 400 for collector's rares. That's fine. That's cool. I don't hate it. I love signature cards in Dragon Ball. It's probably one of the coolest things about the Dragon Ball signatures is those signature rares, those 8 cards that exist with the creator's signature. It's 1 in 400 and you get like 1 of 100 collectors. I'm interested. I'm interested, right? I'm interested. It'll be cool to see people pulling it and see if you can actually put together 100 of the different signatures, see what they look like. Again, benefit of the doubt, this is a Kickstarter TCG, it's new. If I sound overly critical, try not to be. I'm just airing my concerns from what I've seen in the past. But the game is doing a lot of things right, and we'll touch about, like, we've got one more negative, and then we'll talk about all the positives again. So, 1 in 8 container foil, that's fine, whatever. I prefer foils in every pack so I can easily foil out a set. 1 in 4 foil, 8 foils, it's fine. Magic and Flesh and Blood do that, it's whatever. Doesn't really matter. It seems like they're not going to make foils full art, so it's basically just a shiny version of a card you have. Doesn't affect it for playability, so that's fine. And about 10% of cards in First Edition will have alternate artwork. This is something I don't understand. Is like, so 10% of the cards will have a different version of them. So there'll be a normal version, say Lorraine here, and then an alt version of her. Or will there be First Edition exclusive versions of those cards? So 10% of the first set will be different in the First Edition. It doesn't really explain that. The fact that it says alt artworks kind of makes me think that there'll be both versions in the set. But that could be cleared up a little bit. I don't think. Yeah, you can't click on these, so there's no more information there. And then this is the main thing that concerns me. NFT. I see NFT, I panic. I get scared. It's not good for the environment. It's basically a pyramid scheme. And I'm not saying this is a pyramid scheme, but NFTs in general scream pyramid scheme for me, right? You see it with all of these metaverse and multiverse games that are including NFTs and like, oh look, you can get a bit of land and you can sell it and all of that. It rubs me the wrong way, and I don't want to see card games going that way. Doctor Who is a prime example of this. They haven't even released the card game, and yet they're selling NFT packs of these cards, and then they're yours, and you can own them, and you can... Like, I can understand having the ownability of a digital card, right? I understand that. And NFT seems to be the easiest way to do that. But it's... I'm scared of what NFT... Like, this could easily become super manipulated. I don't think they will do it. I think it's a cool concept because I get where they're going with it. But, again, it's something to be worried about. And it doesn't show that they're gameplay first, which is what the first thing they say is. This whole bit reads like it's trying to get the collectors. And, well, I say collectors, it seems like it's trying to get hold of the investors, which, when you're going for Kickstarter, that's naturally who you're going to get. You're going to get people coming in, getting these boxes, and then trying to sell them for double, triple, quadruple, even more times that price. Like 1,000 for a box is essentially what people hope for when they get a Kickstarter box. It's these investors, and that's from talking with people who genuinely invest, and then the people who are candid about, I'm in this for the profit. Which, you know, you can land either side of that. That's a different topic for a different day. But yeah, seeing this NFT thing, that screams Moonbro people to me. And again, the whole focus on extremely collectible cards here makes me worried about the audience that they're going for. But then, we read this. So, First edition packs can sometimes contain a card with a unique scannable code, scanning code with a mobile app that allows you to open a pack. Currently, we're planning to use Beam NFT technology. I don't know how clean Beam is. There's a whole thing about NFTs just being genuinely the worst thing for our planet at the moment. I'm not trying to be negative about this. This is my bias about NFTs, not so much this game using NFTs, but I think it's a cause for concern, and it's something that they should address in their Kickstarter, is the efficiency and efficacy and global impact of NFTs and how they're trying to mitigate it. Although there is no use for NFTs, this is what I mean. Like, there might be a digital card game. It's possible, but that's nothing. That means nothing. I could say we could make NFTs for Players Guild for a potential future video game, and then just be like, well, it might happen. And then people are investing in these things. Yeah, they can sell them on, but they're useless and not good for the environment. That's my rant on NFTs over. All good things from here on out. But yeah, so please, the creators, think about this approach. I am not trying to be negative. I am just concerned. I'm someone who comes in as a player. I like to collect cards, don't get me wrong, but I'm a player first. I'm about accessibility first, and I'm about playability. There's no point in releasing a card game that is gameplay focused if people can't play it. That's the main thing I hate with with some of these Kickstarter TCGs, and that's why we cover the ones that we believe in. Card Game Club is about raising awareness and building a community of players and people who engage with these things that they love, not people trying to exploit that. Let's talk about the creators a little bit. So, Sunny Chai, game design. Sunny Chai, sorry if I've said your name wrong, not 100% on pronunciations, has been playing card games for over 10 years, fair enough. He went to University of Houston studying computer science and went deep into game development. Now has 5 years of game design experience and spends too much money on Genshin Impact. I respect it, and I can see where you kind of get some Genshin influence with it. At least they're open, right? So they know about gacha culture, they know about fear of missing out. It's cool. 5 years game design, of course. I'm on the flip side of that. I did about 3-4 years of game journalism, with a little bit of mobile dev and consulting in there. So it would be interesting to see and shop with Sunny about that. And then Tin Liu, art direction. Tin Liu probably has more anime figures than you. I only have 2 anime figures, so that's probably true. Has been drawing for over 7 years. Has managed over 20 artists from among Japan, China, South Korea, and Vietnam. He spends too much money on Genshin Impact. So I get it. It's a nice bit of fun getting to know these guys. You've got the art background, which is fair. Again, look at the art here. This is by Hori, which is not this guy. But I'm guessing he's in charge of art direction. So he's here's what we want from it, and then he finds the artist and does it. I'm assuming we will see Liu doing art cards as well. I'm excited. It's a team of people that seem the new generation of TCGs. The reason why we started Card Game Club, it's people who came up on TCGs, right? So it's people who grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic being a thing, or at least know what they are and learn from them and see where they made mistakes and can improve upon it or find a niche. None of these guys, their first goal, it should be to aim for just building a player base, a core dedicated player base. Worry about becoming a big free later down the line. Focus on a small community and grow it that way. That's the key to success here. And then we have a join us on our journey, and I absolutely adore this. This is something every Kickstarter TCG should have, even if it's just vague dates like we have here. This is an absolute must-have in my opinion. We need to see more Kickstarter TCGs have this. New generation TCGs need this. It needs to be transparent. You need to know what to expect. Yes, there can be delays. That's fine. There's no problem announcing a project and then delaying it, especially when you give vague dates like Q2, Q3, Q4. So we'll run down it. So November, this month, we are launching a Kickstarter. Again, we'll give you a look at it when the Kickstarter launches and see what all the options are. But first of all, there you go, cool, look, Kickstarter in November, that's this month. Q2 2022, starter deck kits release. Card database on site. So that tells me that that's when they're ready to go, essentially. Because if you've released the card database, that's basically when you're ready to go and show off what you've got. And starter decks will be going out. I like that. Starter deck kits release. So I don't know if this means from the Kickstarter. Like, this is the one thing I wish was a bit more clear. And you can't really click on anything to find out. So Kickstarter launch. Are these starter kits being released from Kickstarter? Or is this release of the actual sets? Again, it's new. We can give it... I'm sure they'll answer all of these questions in due course. Then so we'll move on to Q3 2022. And if you guys don't know what the Qs are, it's quarters. Each year is broken up into 4 quarters. First Grand Archive set, CMT release. CMT, no idea what that kind of means. So again, up in the air. And again, in Q4, tournament software and player rewards. Interesting, very vague, but at least we've got a plan for this year and through next year, potentially leading into 2023. So I respect that. They seem like they've got starter decks and a fair set planned to release, as well as a Kickstarter this year. That's 2 thumbs up from me. What I hope isn't the case is Kickstarter launch. Kickstarter goes through to December. These starter decks and first Grand Archive set release are Kickstarter versions of it. I hope this means these are their real release dates. Or release estimates, I should say. Again, I'm sure that'll be found out and replied to. Overall, a very interesting TCG very early. You can get in on the Discord. You can get sign up for the Kickstarter. If we go to Kickstarter, you can just go, hey, notify me. Which is nice. That's cool. Launching soon. November. So you've still got a bit of time to sign up for the notifications. And again, if they want to address any of this criticism, they can reach out to me. They know I'm in their Discord. I've mentioned it before, and we can talk and have a proper conversation. I do really believe in this. This seems awesome. Like, you look at this card, you got enter effects, you got health. Like, the artwork's fantastic. If the game lives up to this artwork, it's gonna be fantastic. So I don't want to be overly negative. Again, I just want to mention NFTs concern me. NFTs as a general concern me. Not as much the implementation in this game. I do care about the environmental impact of these, so I am interested in that. But NFTs as a whole, I want to re-emphasize this. It's NFTs I have a problem with. This game using them, I'm just not a fan of NFTs in card games or in any use. I just do not like NFTs. This collector thing, again, being addressed. It is what it is. You need collectors in your card game. I'm not opposed to collectors. It's scalpers. That's the main concern. And right now, I'm seeing all of these signs that point to get in now, guys. Get in. Get all of these rare cards. Cool. And then when people actually want to get in on this and actually play the game, they're not going to be able to because people are scalping product. So that's just a little observation. I could be completely wrong. They could have a plan to mitigate all of that, which, if they do, I'll happily make a follow-up. Card Game Club is an expanded series. It's not just a one and done. This is just our first look at a game that is just launching. Again, join the Discord, ask any questions. They seem to be very open about it. I'm very excited to see this tutorial gameplay video. Very excited for that, because then we get a really good idea of how it plays. Hopefully they'll send us some demo decks or something so myself and Loki can play with it, because I showed Loki earlier and he was very impressed by the art style. You know how hard Loki is to impress with card games, guys. And the fact that he gets excited just as much about these Kickstarter TCGs as me shows that they're definitely doing something right. And yeah, that's it for today, guys. So again, I'm not trying to incite hate. I just want to bring up a concern regarding NFTs in card games and the way they're marketing this, despite saying they're gameplay focused up top. That's just a concern, not a criticism. Well, it is a criticism, but it's like, it's a concern, right? Like, I could be completely wrong, and this just appeals, and they get as many people the cards as they want from the Kickstarter, and then first edition is print to demand. And it, like, there's nothing about direct models here, and there's nothing about distributors here. So again, I have to go on what I can see, and that's my first thoughts on it. I'm excited for it. I'll definitely be doing follow-ups on it because I'm very interested. There are a few points of concern, but again, these could all be answered. So if you are from the team is Weeb of the Shore, which, yeah, I get it. It's playful. Wizards of the Coast, Weebs of the Shore. It's cute. It's cute. So if any of that team want to reach out to me, they can do. I'm in your Discord server. And if you need to get an email, then please just email scott.s@playersguild.com. And that is it for the video. This has gone super long. This was like, considering this is a first look, this has gone super long. I'm sorry about the NFT rant, but it had to have been said. Just because that is my thoughts, right? I see NFT, I see card game. Like, I genuinely hope if that's the way they're going with it, and they could change their minds, there's plenty of time, that they do announce some form of usage for it, because minting NFTs for the sake of having NFTs just is not a good thing in my eyes. And that's emblematic of NFTs as a whole, not just this game. I want to stress that enough. Like, this game could implement them super well, and it could be a very clean way of using NFTs, and maybe kickbacks go to charity, something like that. I don't know. We'll find out in due course. The card artwork looks fantastic. Very interested to see the gameplay. Let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. I'm Scott7 of Players Guild. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and I'll see you next time.